Welcome to the Book of Ezra Sutuel, one of the most mysterious, raw, and fiercely guarded texts within the ancient 81-book Ethiopian Orthodox Canon. This is not a book of gentle parables. It is the first-hand account of a prophet consuming the literal fire of divine wisdom to write down the hidden history of the soul. While the Western world left these pages in the shadows, the holy scribes of the Ethiopian highlands kept the flame alive. Prepare yourself, because what you are about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about the end of the world. The Book of Ezra Sutuel. Chapter 1. The First Vision. In the 30th year after the ruin of our city Jerusalem, I, Sutuel, who am also called Ezra, was in Babylon. And as I lay troubled upon my bed, my mind was opened, and my thoughts came up and went down within my heart, because I saw the desolation of Zion, and the joy of those who dwelt in Babylon. And my spirit was sore moved, and I began to speak fearful words unto the Most High. And as I spoke, I said, O Lord, my Lord, didst thou not speak at the beginning, when thou didst create the earth, and that thyself alone, and didst command the dust to bring forth Adam in a mortal body? And he was the workmanship of thy hands, and thou didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. And before ever the earth was established, thou didst lead him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted. And unto him thou gavest thy commandment of righteousness, which he transgressed. And immediately thou didst appoint death for him and for his generations. And from him were born nations and peoples, tribes and kindreds without number. And all nations walked after their own works, and committed sins before thee, and denied thee. Yet thou didst not forbid them. But again, in process of time, thou didst bring the flood upon the earth, and upon those who dwelt in this world, and didst destroy them. And their punishment was made equal. For as death came upon Adam, even so came the flood upon these. Nevertheless, one man from among them thou didst preserve, whose name was Noah, with his household. And from him were born all righteous men and sinners. And it came to pass that when they began to multiply and to fill the earth, and their children increased, and many nations and peoples were born of them, they began again to commit more ungodliness than their forefathers. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose one from among them, whose name was Abraham. Him thou didst love, and unto him alone thou didst show the end of the times secretly by night. And thou madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldst never utterly destroy his seed. And thou gavest unto him Isaac, and unto Isaac thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him for thyself, but Esau thou didst hate, and Jacob became a great multitude. And when thou didst lead his seed out of Egypt, thou didst bring them unto Mount Sinai. Thou didst bow the heavens, and didst shake the earth, and didst move the whole world. Thou didst make the depths to tremble, and didst divide the sea before them. And 4 wonders of thy majesty were done, of fire, of earthquake, of hail, and of wind, that thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob, and commandments unto the generation of Israel. And yet thou didst not take away from them their wicked heart, that the fruit of thy law might be produced in them. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, was overcome and vanquished, and not he alone, but all those who are born of him likewise. Thus the infirmity became permanent, and the law remained in the heart of the people, together with the wickedness of the root, so that the good departed away, and the evil remained. So the times passed away, and the years were fulfilled, and thou didst raise up a servant unto thyself, whose name was David, whom thou didst command to build a city unto thy name, and to offer oblations unto thee therein. And this was done many years, but those who inhabited the world transgressed, doing no good work, for they used a wicked heart, even as Adam and all his generations had done. And so thou gavest thy city over into the hands of thine enemies. Babylon compared with Zion. Then I said in my heart, are the deeds of those who inhabit Babylon any better, that they should therefore have dominion over the city of Zion? For when I came hither, I saw ungodliness without number. And behold, for 30 years my soul has seen many deniers, so that my heart failed me. For I have seen how thou dost suffer the sinners, and sparest the ungodly, and hast cast away thy people, and hast preserved thine enemies. And thou hast not shown regard to anyone. How then shall this way be understood? Is Babylon any better than Zion in working righteousness? Yea, is there any other nation that knows thee besides Israel? Or what tribe has so believed thy covenants as Jacob, whose reward has not appeared, and whose labor has produced no fruit? For I have gone through the nations, and I found them rejoicing and flowing in wealth, and they think not upon thy commandments. Now therefore, weigh thou our sins in the balance, and theirs also that dwell in Babylon, and it shall be found which way the turn of the scale inclines, even if it be as small as a breath. For when was it that those who dwell upon the earth have not sinned before thee? Or what nation has so kept thy law? A perfect people thou shalt not find, but individuals who have kept thy commandments thou shalt find. Chapter 2. The limitation of human intellect. The angel who was sent unto me, whose name was Uriel, answered and said to me, Thy heart hath utterly failed thee in contemplating the counsel of the Most High. And thinkest thou to comprehend the way of the Lord? And I said, Yea, my Lord. Then he answered me and said, I am sent to show thee 3 ways, and to set forth 3 similitudes before thee. If thou canst declare me one of these, I will show thee also the way which thou desirest to see, and I shall teach thee from whence this wicked heart cometh. And I said, Speak on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, Go thy way, weigh me the weight of the fire, or measure me the blast of the wind, or call me back the day that is past. Then answered I and said, What man is born among the created that is able to do this thing, that thou shouldst ask me such a matter? And he said unto me, If I should ask thee how many dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the source of the deep, or how many paths are above the heavens, or where are the outlets of hell, or which are the paths of paradise, peradventure thou wouldst say unto me, I never went down into the deep, nor as yet into hell, neither did I ever climb up into heaven. But now I have asked thee only concerning the wind and the fire and the day that is past, from which thou canst not be separated, yet hast thou given me no answer regarding them. He said moreover unto me, Thine own things, and such as are grown up with thee, canst thou not know? How then canst thou comprehend the way of the Most High? For the way of the Most High is defined in that which is infinite. And how can a corruptible and decaying man like thee comprehend the path of him who is incorruptible and undefiled? And when I heard this, I fell upon my face and said unto him, It would have been better that we were not created at all, than that we should live in sin and suffer torments, and not even know why we must suffer. The similitude of the trees and the sea. He answered me and said, The trees of the woods went forth and took counsel among themselves, and said, Come, let us go and make war against the sea, that it may depart from before us, and that we may conquer another land for our forestry. In like manner also the waves of the sea took counsel, saying, Come, let us go up and subdue the trees of the wood in the wilderness, that we may conquer another territory for our waves. But the counsel of the trees was in vain, for the fire came forth and consumed them. Likewise, the counsel of the waves of the sea was in vain, for the sand stood up and barred them, stopping them. If thou wert judge now between these two, whom wouldst thou justify, and whom wouldst thou condemn? I answered and said, Both of them conceived a vain thought, for the dry land is given unto the trees, and the sea is appointed to bear its waves. Then he answered me and said, Thou hast judged rightly. Why then dost thou not judge for thine own self? For as the dry land is given unto the trees, and the sea unto its waves, even so they that dwell upon the earth can understand only those things that are upon the earth, and not the things that are in the heavens or above the heavens. The end of the age. Then answered I and said, O Lord, I beseech thee, why then is the power of understanding given unto us to contemplate? For I desired not to inquire concerning the ways of the Most High, but of those things which continually pass over us. Why Israel is given up as a reproach unto the heathen, and why the people whom thou hast loved is delivered over into the hands of ungodly nations, and why the law of our fathers is brought to naught, and the covenants written therein are no more. And we pass away out of the world like locusts, and our life is as smoke, and we are not worthy to obtain mercy. But what will he do for his holy name whereby we are called? Concerning these things have I asked. Then he answered me and said, If thou survive, thou shalt see it, and if thou live long enough, thou shalt know it in time. For the world hasteneth fast to pass away, and it cannot bear the things that are promised for the righteous, because this world is full of sorrow and full of infirmities. For the evil concerning which thou hast asked me is sown, but the harvest thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not reaped, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot the field where the good is sown appear. For a grain of evil seed was sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness hath it brought forth until this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the harvest come? Consider now within thyself, when a grain of evil seed is sown, how much fruit of ungodliness it hath brought forth. And when a grain of good seed is sown, how great and countless a harvest of good fruit shall it bring forth? Then answered I and said, Until when shall these things be? For the times of this world are evil and few. And he answered me and said, Thou canst not hasten above the Most High, for thou hasteth only for thine own self, but the Most High hasteneth for the sake of many. Did not the souls of the righteous in their chambers ask concerning these things, saying, How long shall we remain here? And when cometh the harvest of our reward? And Jeremiah the angel answered them and said, Even when the number of the righteous, like yourselves, is fulfilled. For he hath weighed the world in a balance, and by measure hath he measured the sea. And he keepeth silence until the appointed measure be fulfilled, and he will not stir them. Then answered I and said, O Lord, my Lord, behold, we all are full of ungodliness, and peradventure for our sakes the harvest of the reward of the righteous is withheld. Or is it because of the sins of them that dwell upon the earth? So he answered me and said, Go thy way to a woman with child, and ask her if, when her 9 months are fulfilled, she can keep the birth of her child any longer within her womb. Then said I, O Lord, she cannot. And he said unto me, In like manner are hell and the chambers of the souls of the righteous. For like as a woman that travaileth maketh haste to escape the necessity of the labor, even so do these places hasten to deliver those things that have been committed unto them from the beginning of the world. Then shall it be showed thee concerning those things which thou desirest to know. How much time remains? And I answered him and said, If I have found favor in thy sight, and if it be possible, and if I be meet for it, show me this also, whether there be more to come than is past, or if the time past be greater than that which is to come. For that which is past I know, but what is for to come I know not. And he said unto me, Stand up on the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto thee. So I stood, and behold, a hot burning furnace passed before me. And it happened that when the flame was gone by, behold, the smoke remained. After this there passed before me a watery cloud, and sent down a great and abundant rain. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained. Then said he unto me, Consider this within thyself. As the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke, even so the measure of that which is past exceedeth, but the drops and the smoke remain. Then I prayed and said, Shall I live until those times? Or what shall happen in those days? He answered me and said, As for the tokens whereof thou askest me, I may tell thee of them in part, but as for thy life, I am not sent to declare it unto thee, for I do not know it. Chapter 3. The Signs of the End of the World. And concerning the signs, behold, the days shall come that a great trembling shall seize those who dwell upon the earth, and the way of righteousness shall be hidden, and faith shall vanish from the land. And ungodliness shall be increased even more than that which thou hast seen, and more than that which thou hast heard of old. And the land that thou seest now to be ruined and desolate shall be utterly destroyed, and the earth shall become a wilderness. But if the Most High grant thee life, after 3 months thou shalt see the earth in commotion, and the sun shall suddenly shine by night, and the moon by day. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give its voice, and the people shall be troubled, and the stars shall fall. And one shall reign whom those who dwell upon the earth look not for, and all of them shall hear his voice. There shall be a chaos also in many places, and fire shall be frequently sent forth, and the wild beasts of the desert shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. And sweet waters shall become salt and bitter, and friends shall suddenly destroy one another like enemies. Then shall wisdom hide herself, and understanding withdraw into her secret chamber. It shall be sought of many, and yet they shall not find it. And unrighteousness, injustice, and folly shall be multiplied upon earth. One land also shall ask another that is near unto it, and say, Has any righteousness been done in thee? Or is there any man that works righteousness? And it shall say, No. At that time shall men hope, but they shall not obtain. They shall marry, but they shall not rejoice. They shall labor and build, but their ways shall not prosper. To show thee these signs I am sent, and if thou wilt pray again, and weep as thou dost now, and fast 7 days, thou shalt hear yet greater things than these. Then I awoke from my sleep, and a great fearfulness went through my body, and my spirit was weary, even unto fainting. But the angel who had come and talked with me held me, and comforted me, and set me up upon my feet. And in the second night, Phaltiel, the captain of the people, came unto me, saying, O Ezra, where hast thou been? And why is thy countenance so heavy? Knowest thou not that Israel is committed unto thee in the land of their captivity? Up then, and eat a little bread, and do not forsake them, like a shepherd that leaves his flock in the hands of cruel wolves. Then said I unto him, Depart from me, and come not near me for 7 days, and after that thou shalt come unto me, and I will speak with thee. So he left me. The second vision. And so I fasted 7 days, mourning and weeping, even as Uriel the angel commanded me. And after 7 days the thoughts of my heart were very grievous unto me again, and my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began to speak words before the Most High again, and said, O Lord, my Lord, out of all the woods of the earth and all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee only one vine. And out of all the depths of the world, thou hast filled for thyself one river. And out of all the lands of the world, thou hast chosen thee one land. And out of all the cities that are built, thou hast sanctified Zion unto thyself. And out of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove. And out of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep. And among all the multitudes of the earth, thou hast gotten thee one people. And unto this people, whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all. And now, O Lord, why hast thou given this one over unto many? And why hast thou dishonored this one root above others, and hast scattered thine only people among many? And they who overthrew thy promises have trodden down those who believed thy covenants. If thou didst so much hate thy people, it were better that thou shouldst punish them with thine own hands. Now when I had spoken these words, the angel who had come to me the night before was sent unto me, and said unto me, Hear me, and I will instruct thee. Hearken unto me, and I shall tell thee more. And I said, Speak on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, Art thou sore troubled for Israel's sake? Or lovest thou that people more than he that made them? And I said, No, Lord, but of very grief have I spoken, for my reins torment me every hour, while I labor to comprehend the way of the Most High, and to seek out part of his judgment. And he said unto me, Thou canst not. And I said, Wherefore, Lord? Or wherefore was I born? Or why was not my mother's womb my grave, that I might not see the travail of Jacob, and the weariness of the stock of Israel? And he said unto me, Number me the days that are not yet come, and gather me the flowers that are scattered, and make the withered grass green again. And open me the closed chambers, and bring me forth the winds that are shut up in them, and show me the image of a face that thou hast never seen, and let me hear their voice. And then will I declare to thee the judgment and the travail that thou desirest to know. And I answered and said, O Lord, my Lord, who is able to know these things, except he whose dwelling is not with men? As for me, I am unwise and of low estate. How then can I speak of these things whereof thou askest me? Then said he unto me, Like as thou canst do none of these things that I have spoken of, even so canst thou not find out my judgment, or the end of the love that I have promised unto my people. And I said, But behold, O Lord, thou hast patience with those who are near the end, and what shall they do that have been before us, or we that are now, or they that shall come after us? And he said unto me, I have made my judgment like unto a ring. Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So I answered and said, Couldst thou not make those that have been made before, and that are now, and that are for to come at once, that thou mightest show thy judgment the sooner? Then answered he me and said, The creature may not hasten above the Creator, neither could the world hold them at once that are created therein. And I said, How hast thou said unto thy servant, that thou wilt surely raise up at once the creature that thou hast created? If therefore they shall be alive at once, and if the world can sustain them, it might even now contain them altogether. And he said unto me, Ask the womb of a woman, and say unto her, If thou bringest forth 10 children, why dost thou it by succession? Ask her therefore to bring them forth all at once. And I said, She cannot, except it be by distance of time. Then said he unto me, Even so have I disposed the order of the world for the times of that which is sown therein. For like as a young child cannot bring forth, neither she that is grown old, so have I ordered the world which I created. And I asked and said, Since thou hast given me the way to speak before thee, behold, I will speak. Is our mother, of whom thou hast told me that she is young, now drawing nigh unto old age? Or why is our strength not like the strength of those who were before us? He answered me and said, Ask a woman that brings forth children, and she shall tell thee. Say unto her, Why are they whom thou hast now brought forth not like those that were before, but less in stature? And she shall answer thee, Those that are born in the vigor of youth are of one fashion, and those that are born in old age, when the womb fails, are of another. Consider therefore thou also, how that ye are less in stature than those who were before you. And so are they that come after you less than you, as of a creature that now begins to be old, and whose youth and strength are past. Then said I, Lord, I beseech thee, if I have found favor in thy sight, show thy servant by whom thou wilt visit thy creature. Chapter 4. And he said unto me, In the beginning it was by the Son of Man, but afterwards I myself shall come. Before the heavens and the earth and the countries were created, and before the paths of the world were established, and before the winds blew, before the voice of thunder was heard, and before the flashes of lightning shone, and before the land of paradise was formed, before the beauty of the flowers was seen, and before the power of the earthquakes was established, and before the hosts of angels were numbered, before the height of the air was lifted up, and before the measures of the firmament were named, and before the search for the world to come was manifest, and before the shadow of sinners was removed, even before the seal of the Lord was set upon those who keep the law and have faith. Then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me alone, and through none other. Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or what shall be the sign of the first world, and when shall be its end? And when shall the beginning of the second world be? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of this world, and Jacob is the beginning of the new era that followeth. For the end of a man's body is his heel, and the beginning of a man's body is his hand. Therefore, Ezra, do not search between the heel and the hand. I answered then and said, O Lord, my Lord, if I have found favor in thy sight, I beseech thee, show thy servant the end of these signs, whereof thou showedst me part the past night. So he answered and said unto me, Stand up upon thy feet, and hear a mighty sounding voice. And if the place whereon thou standest be greatly moved when it speaketh, be not dismayed when thou art told, for the word is of the end. At that time the foundations of the earth shall understand the matter, for the speech is concerning them. They shall tremble and be moved, for they know that their end must be changed. And it came to pass that when I heard this, I rose and stood upon my feet, and behold, I heard a voice that spake, and the sound thereof was like the sound of many waters. And it said, Behold, the days come that a time draweth nigh, when the Most High shall visit those who dwell upon the earth. And when Zion is built, I will search out the unrighteousness of those who have committed iniquity against me. And when the world to come that is about to pass away shall be sealed, then will I show these signs. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall all see together. And the children of 1 year old shall speak fully, and women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 and 4 months old, and they shall live and raised up. And the unsown land shall suddenly appear as sown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those who dwell therein. The springs of the waters shall stand still, and for 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth after all these things that I have told thee shall escape, and see my salvation and the end of my world. And then shall they see the men who were taken up, who have not tasted death from their birth. And the heart of the inhabitants of the earth shall be changed, and turned into another meaning. For evil shall be blotted out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the righteousness which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. And while he spake these words, the place whereon I stood was moved little by little. And he said unto me, I am come to show thee these signs this night, even as I told thee the night before. If thou wilt fast and pray again 7 days, I shall tell thee yet greater things than these. For thy voice hath been heard before the Most High, for thy righteousness from thy youth hath been manifest. Therefore the Most High hath sent me to show thee all these things. And he said unto me, Believe and fear not, and hasten not to doubt concerning the latter times, because of the evil thoughts of old. The third vision. And it came to pass after this, that I fasted and wept again 7 days, that I might fulfill the 3 weeks which he had appointed me. And on the 7th night my heart was vexed within me again, and I began to speak before the Most High. For my soul was greatly inflamed, and my spirit was in distress. And I said, O Lord, my Lord, Thou spakest in the beginning of Thy creation, even upon the first day, and saidst, Let heaven and earth be made. And Thy word was a perfect work. And the Spirit was hovering, and darkness was wrapped around, and all was silent. The sound of a man's voice was not yet formed. Then didst Thou command a fair light to come forth out of Thy treasures, that Thy work might appear. Upon the second day Thou didst create the spirit of the firmament, and commandedst it to part the waters asunder, that the one part might go up, and the other remain beneath. Upon the third day Thou didst command that the waters should be gathered in the seventh part of the earth. 6 parts hast Thou dried up, that they might be tilled and sown, and preserve their service before Thee. For as soon as Thy word went forth, the work was made. For immediately there came forth great and countless fruit, and manifold desires for the taste, and flowers of unmatchable color, and trees of diverse kinds, and fragrances of exquisite scent. Upon the fourth day Thou commandedst that the sun should shine, the moon give her light, and the stars should be in their order. And Thou gavest them a charge to do service unto man, who was to be formed. Upon the fifth day Thou saidst unto the seventh part, where the waters of Negeb were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowls and fishes. And so the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at Thy commandment, that all generations might praise Thy wondrous works. Then didst Thou preserve 2 living creatures, the one Thou calledst Behemoth, and the other Thou calledst Leviathan. And Thou didst separate the one from the other, for the seventh part, where the waters of Negeb were gathered, could not hold them both together. Unto Behemoth Thou gavest 1 part of the dry land, which was dried up on the third day, where the 4 mountains are, that he might dwell therein. But unto Leviathan Thou gavest the 7th part of the sea, and hast kept him to be devoured by whom Thou wilt, and when Thou wilt. And upon the 6th day Thou gavest commandment unto the earth, that before Thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. And after these Thou didst appoint Adam as ruler over all the works that Thou hadst made, and of him come we all, the people whom Thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before Thee, O Lord, because Thou hast said that for our sakes Thou madest this world. As for the other nations, which also come of Adam, Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, Thy people, whom Thou hast called Thy firstborn, Thine only begotten, and Thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? Chapter 5. And it came to pass after this, when I had ended speaking these words, the angel who had come to me the night before was sent unto me again, and said unto me, Rise, Ezra, and hear the words of my speech that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But the entrance thereof is set in a narrow place, even like a river. Whosoever then would go into the sea to look upon it, or to rule it, if he pass not through the narrow gate, how could he come into the broad place? There is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a plain field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place, having a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And there is only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man's foot go thereon. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if the heir shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive his inheritance? And I said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my commandments, then was that which was made decreed, and the entrances of this world became narrow, full of sorrow and travail, and they are but few and evil, full of perils and great labor. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Why then disquietest thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? And why hast thou not considered in thy mind that which is to come, rather than that which is present? The fate of the sinners. Then answered I and said, O Lord, my Lord, behold, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. The righteous therefore shall suffer straight things, and hope for wide. But they that have lived ungodly have suffered the straight things, and shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, Thou art not a better judge than God, neither art thou wiser than the Most High. Let many that are created perish, rather than the law of God which is set before them be despised. For God hath given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things for themselves, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he was not, and knew not his ways. But they have despised his law, and denied his covenants. In his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works, and have not remembered his worship. Therefore, Ezra, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. The kingdom of the Messiah. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she that is now hidden shall be brought forth and seen. And whosoever is delivered from the aforesaid evils shall see my wonders. For my Son Jesus shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. After these years shall my Son Christ die, and all men that have breath. And the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the first beginning, so that no man shall remain. And after 7 days the world, that yet awaketh not, shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her. And so shall the dust those that dwell in silence. And the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. But judgment only shall remain. Truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be showed. And the good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall bear no rule. And the lake of torment shall appear, and over against it shall be the place of rest, and the furnace of hell shall be showed, and over against it the paradise of delight. And the Most High shall say to the nations that are raised from the dead, Look now, and understand whom ye have denied, or whom ye have not served, or whose commandments ye have despised. Look on this side and on that. Here is pleasure and rest, and there fire and torments. Thus shall he speak unto them in the day of judgment. For the day of judgment is of this sort. It hath neither sun, nor moon, nor stars, nor cloud, nor thunder, nor lightning, nor wind, nor water, nor air, nor darkness, nor evening, nor morning, nor summer, nor winter, nor spring, nor heat, nor frost, nor cold, nor hail, nor rain, nor dew, nor noon, nor night, nor light, nor shining, nor brightness, save only the splendor of the glory of God, whereby all shall see the things that are appointed for them. For the duration of that time shall be as it were 7 years. This is my judgment and the ordinance thereof, and these things have I showed unto thee alone. The few that are saved. Then answered I and said, O Lord, I said then and say now, Blessed are they that are alive and keep thy commandments. But what of them for whom I pray? For who is there among them that live that hath not sinned? Or who is born of a woman that hath not transgressed thy covenant? And now I see that the world to come shall bring delight to few, but torments unto many. For an evil heart hath grown up in us, which hath led us astray from these things, and hath brought us into corruption, and into the ways of death, and hath showed us the paths of perdition, and removed us far from life, and that not a few only, but well nigh all that have been created. And he answered me and said, Hear me, and I will inform thee, and again I will instruct thee. For this cause the Most High hath not made one world, but 2. For whereas thou hast said that the righteous are not many, but few, but the ungodly are multiplied, hear the meaning of this. If thou hast a few precious stones, wilt thou set them with clay? And I said, Lord, how can that be? And he said unto me, Not only this, but ask the earth, and she shall tell thee. Entreat her, and she shall declare unto thee. Say unto her, Thou bringest forth gold and silver and brass and iron and lead and clay. But silver is more abundant than gold, and brass than silver, and iron than brass, and lead than iron, and clay than lead. Judge thou therefore which things are precious and to be desired, whether those that be abundant or those that be rare. And I said, O Lord, that which is rare is precious, but that which is abundant is vile. So he answered me and said, Weigh thou therefore in thy mind that which thou hast thought. For he that hath things that are rare rejoiceth more than he that hath abundance. So is my judgment and the joy of the righteous. For I will rejoice over the few that shall be saved, forasmuch as they are they that now make my glory to increase, and of whom my name is now named. And I will not be sorry for the multitude of them that perish, for they are now like unto vapor, and are counted as flame and smoke. They are burnt and burn fiercely, and are extinguished. Ezra's Lamentation. Then answered I and said, O thou earth, wherefore hast thou brought forth such a special creation from thy dust? For it had been better that the evil heart had not been created in us, rather than to be created. For the evil heart groweth with us, and therefore we are judged, and we perish knowing it. Let the race of men lament, but let the beasts of the field be glad. Let all that are born lament, but let the cattle and the flocks rejoice. For it is far better with them than with us. For they look not for a certain judgment, neither do they know of torments, nor of hell. Nor have they any promise of a resurrection after death. For what profiteth it us, that we shall be preserved alive, but to be tormented? For all that are born are defiled with sins, and are full of iniquities, and heavy with offenses. And if after death we were not to come into judgment, it had been much better for us. Chapter 6. The answer given to Ezra's question. And the angel answered me and said, When the Most High made this world, and Adam, and all them that came of him, he prepared beforehand the judgment and the punishment. Now therefore understand from thine own words, for thou hast said that the evil heart groweth with us. They then that dwell upon earth shall be judged because of this. For having understanding, they have committed iniquity, and receiving the law, they kept not the commandments. And having learned the law, they have forsaken that which they received. What then shall they have to say in the day of judgment? Or what shall they speak in the latter time? For how long a time hath the Most High suffered them that inhabit the world? Yet not for their sakes, but because of the times which he hath foreordained. The state of the dead before judgment. Then answered I and said, If I have found favor in thy sight, show this also unto thy servant, whether after death, even now when every one of us giveth up his soul, we shall be kept in rest until the time cometh wherein thou shalt begin to renew the creation, or whether we shall be tormented from this day forward. And he answered me and said, I will show thee this also. But join not thyself with them that are unfaithful, nor count thyself among them that are tormented. For thou hast a treasure of works laid up with the Most High, but it shall not be showed thee until the last times. For concerning death, the matter is this: when the sentence goeth forth from the Most High that a man shall die, when the soul departeth from the body, it returneth again unto him who gave it. And first of all it adoreth the majesty of the Most High. But if it be of the company of those that have despised the ways of the Most High, and have kept not his law, and have hated them that fear him, such souls shall not enter into dwellings of the righteous, but shall wander about and be in torments, ever sorrowing and sad in 7 ways. The first way is, because they have despised the law of the Most High. The second way, because they cannot now make a good return that they may live. The third way, they shall see the reward laid up for them that have believed the covenants of the Most High. The fourth way, they shall consider the torment prepared for themselves in the latter days. The fifth way, they shall see the dwelling places of the others guarded by angels with great quietness. The sixth way, they shall see how the torment from this day forward is prepared for them, and they shall wander in it. The seventh way, which is greater than all the ways aforesaid, because they shall melt away in confusion, and be consumed in shame, and shall wither in fear, when they see the glory of the Most High, before whom they have sinned while living, and before whom they shall be judged in the last times. But for them that have kept the ways of the Most High, this is the order when they shall be separated from this corruptible body. In the time that they dwelt therein, they labored much to serve the Most High, and endured perils every hour, that they might keep the law of the lawgiver perfectly. Wherefore this is the word concerning them. First of all, they shall see with great joy the glory of him who receiveth them, and they shall enter into rest through 7 orders. The first order is, because they have labored with great striving to overcome the evil thought created with them, that it might not lead them astray from life unto death. The second order, because they see the wandering of the souls of the ungodly, and the torment that remaineth for them. The third order, they see the witness which he that formed them beareth for them, because in their lifetime they kept the law which was given them in faith. The fourth order, they understand the rest which they now enjoy in their chambers, guarded by angels with great quietness, and the glory that awaiteth them in the latter end. The fifth order, they rejoice, because they have now escaped that which is corruptible, and shall inherit the world to come. Moreover, they see the narrowness and labor from which they are delivered, and the large room they shall receive, rejoicing forever, where death is no more. The sixth order, when it is showed them how their face shall shine as the sun, and how their light shall be as the stars, and they shall no more be subject to corruption. The seventh order, which is greater than all the rest, because they shall exult with boldness, and shall trust without confusion, and shall rejoice without fear. For they hasten to see the face of him whom they served in life, and from whom they shall receive their reward in glory. This is the order of the souls of the righteous, as from this day forward it is promised. And the aforesaid are the ways of torment which they that are unfaithful shall suffer from henceforth. Then answered I and said, Shall time then be given unto the souls after they are departed from the body to see the things whereof thou hast spoken unto me? And he said, They shall have 7 days to be free, that in those 7 days they may see the things aforesaid, and afterwards they shall be gathered into their habitations. The finality of judgment. Then answered I and said, O Lord, my Lord, if I have found favor in thy sight, show further unto thy servant whether in the day of judgment the righteous may intercede for the ungodly, or whether fathers may entreat for their children, or children for their parents, or brethren for brethren, or kinsmen for their next of kin, or friends for their dearest friends. And he answered me and said, Because thou hast found favor in my sight, I will tell thee this also. The day of judgment is a decisive day, and it manifesteth the seal of truth unto all. Even as now a father sendeth not his son, nor a son his father, nor a master his servant, nor a friend his dearest friend, that in his sickness he may be sick for him, or eat, or drink, or be healed for him. So shall no man then entreat for another, neither shall any man lay his burden upon his neighbor. For every one shall bear his own righteousness or unrighteousness, and every one shall receive his own reward. Then answered I and said, How then do we find that first Abraham prayed for the people of Sodom, and Moses for our fathers who sinned in the wilderness, and Joshua after him for Israel in the days of Achan, and Samuel in the days of Saul, and David for the plague, and Solomon for them that should worship in the sanctuary, and Elijah for them that received rain, and for the dead that he might live, and Hezekiah for the people in the days of Sennacherib, and many others prayed for many. If therefore now, when corruption is grown up and iniquity multiplied, the righteous have prayed for the ungodly, why shall it not be so then also? And he answered me and said, This present world is not the end, and the glory of God abideth not therein continually. Therefore have the strong prayed for the weak. But the day of judgment shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortal world to come, wherein corruption is passed away. Intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to have mercy on him that is cast in judgment, nor to oppress him that hath gotten the victory. Then answered I and said, This is my first and last word. It had been better that the earth had not brought forth Adam, or else, when it had brought him forth, to have restrained him from sinning. For what profit is it to all men to live in heaviness here, and after death to look for punishment? O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, the evil was not thine alone, but fell upon us all who come of thee. For what profit is it unto us, if there be promised an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death? And that there is predicted for us an everlasting hope, whereas we are most miserably become vain. And that there are dwellings of health and safety prepared for them that have walked holily, whereas we have lived wickedly. And that the glory of the Most High is prepared to defend them that have led a pure life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. And that there shall be showed a paradise, whose fruit endureth without decay, wherein is abundance and healing. But we shall not enter into it, because we have walked in unseemly places. And that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not what we should suffer after death. Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. For this is the way whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, Choose thee life, that thou mayest live. Nevertheless, they believed not him, nor the prophets after him, no, nor me who have spoken unto them. Therefore there shall not be such heaviness in their destruction, as there shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation. Then answered I and said, I know, Lord, that the Most High is now called merciful, because he hath mercy upon them that are not yet come into the world, and clement, because he hath pity upon them that turn to his law, and long-suffering, because he showeth long-suffering unto them that have sinned, as being his own creatures, and bountiful, because he would rather give than exact, and of great mercy, because he multiplieth his mercies more and more to them that are present and that are past, and also to them that are to come. For if he multiplied them not, the world would not continue to live, nor they that dwell therein. And a giver, because if he gave not of his goodness, that they which have committed iniquities might be relieved of them, the 10,000th part of men should not remain alive. And a judge, because if he did not forgive them that are healed by his word, and blot out the multitude of contentions, there should be very few left among an innumerable multitude. Chapter 7. And the angel answered me and said, The Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few. Behold, Ezra, I will tell thee a similitude before thee. Ask the earth, and she shall tell thee, for she bringeth forth much mold whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is the clay far more abundant than the gold. Even so is the work of this world. Many are created in it, but few shall be saved. Then answered I and said, Let the soul swallow down understanding, and let the ear drink wisdom. For the ear is made to hear, and the heart is created to understand. And man goeth whither he would not, having but a short time to live. O Lord, if thou wouldst permit thy servant, it would be better for us if thou wouldst give us a heart and mind to till the ground and sow, that it may bring forth fruit, whereby all the dead might live, even as the world sustaineth man. For we are all equal, even thy creatures, as thou hast spoken. For thou formest him in the womb, and fashionest the body and the members, and givest him understanding, and preservest him in fire and water, and the womb beareth that which thou hast created for 9 months, and it is preserved by thy word. And again, when the mother bringeth him forth, after he is born and created, thou ordainest that this thy servant should grow until the months of his nursing are completed. And thou hast commanded that out of her breasts, even from the fruits of her body, milk should flow for him, that this thy servant may grow in thy goodness until the appointed time. And thou dost nourish him in thy mercy. Thou hast taught him thy law, and nurtured him in thy wisdom. After this, thou shalt mortify that creature whom thou hast made and brought to life. If therefore thou shalt destroy this thy servant, whom thou hast fashioned and preserved for so long a time, wherefore didst thou make him? Now therefore thy word is true. Thou knowest all things concerning all men. But it is not I who am eager to speak. Yet I mourn for thy people, and for thine inheritance. And for this cause I begin to pray before thee, both for myself and for them. For I see the stumblings of us who live, and hear the law of the world to come. Therefore hear my voice, and consider my prayer which I speak before thee. The Prayer of Ezra. This is the beginning of the words of Ezra's prayer before he was taken up. O Lord, thou who dwellest forever, whose eyes are on the highest places, and who art in heaven, whose authority is invincible, and whose kingdom passeth not away, before whom the hosts of angels stand with fear, at whose word the wind and the fire are created, whose word is sure, and whose utterance abideth, whose ordinance is firm, and whose commandment is dreadful, whose look drieth up the depths, and whose wrath maketh the mountains to melt, and whose law is truth. O Lord, hear the voice of thy servant, and give ear to the prayer of thy servant, and hearken unto my words. For while I live, I will speak, and as long as I have understanding, I will answer thee. Look not upon the sins of thy people, but consider them that serve thee in righteousness. Regard not the deeds of the ungodly, but look upon them that have kept thy covenants in their afflictions. Think not upon those that have walked wickedly before thee, but remember them that have trusted in thy law with all their heart. Desire not the destruction of those that have lived like beasts in their deeds, but remember them that have kept thy statutes with a clear mind, and look upon them. Be not angry with them that are worse than wild beasts, but love them that have ever trusted in thy majesty. For we and our fathers before us have done deeds that bring death. But be thou merciful unto us sinners. For if thou hast mercy upon us who have no works of righteousness, then thou shalt be called merciful. But the righteous, who have good works laid up with thee, thou shalt reward them according to their deeds. For what is man, that thou shouldest be angry with him? Or what is a mortal race, that thou shouldest be grieved for it? For in truth I say, there is none born among men that hath not sinned, nor any among them that live who have not transgressed. But herein, O Lord, thy goodness shall be known, if thou be merciful unto them that have no treasure of good works. God's answer. And he answered me and said, Thou hast spoken truth before me, and according as thou hast said, so shall it be. For in truth I do not desire the death, nor the judgment, nor the destruction of them that sin. But I rejoice over the righteous, because they shall obtain their reward and be saved. And like as thou hast spoken, so shall it come to pass. For as the husbandman soweth many seeds, and planteth many trees, and yet when the time cometh, not all the seeds sprout, nor do all the plants take root, even so are they that are in this world. They shall not all be saved. Then answered I and said, If I have found favor in thy sight, let me speak. If the husbandman's seed sprout not, peradventure it is because it received no rain, and therefore it perisheth. But man, whom thou hast fashioned with thine hands, and made like unto thine own image, is thine image, and for his sake thou hast created all things. Why then dost thou make him like the seed of a husbandman? O Lord, it is not fitting. Spare thy people, and be merciful unto thine inheritance, for thou hast mercy upon thine own creation. And he answered me and said, The things that are present are for them that live now, and the things that are to come are for them that shall live hereafter. For thou art far short of being able to love my creation more than I. And indeed, though thou art not unrighteous, thou hast often likened thyself unto the unrighteous. But for this cause also shalt thou be praised before the Most High, because thou hast humbled thyself, as it becometh thee, and hast not counted thyself among the righteous, that thou mightest be greatly glorified. For many grievous miseries shall look upon them that dwell in the world in the latter times, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and inquire concerning the glory of such as be like thee. For unto you paradise is opened, the tree of life is planted, the world to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, rest is allowed, goodness is established, and the root of wisdom is found. From henceforth sickness is ended, death is vanquished, the grave is hidden, and corruption is destroyed. Sorrow is forgotten, and the treasure of life is manifested. Therefore ask no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For they received liberty, but they despised the Most High, and thought scorn of his law, and forsook his statutes. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous ones, and said in their heart that there is no God, though they knew well that they must die. For as these good things are prepared for you, so is this destruction ready for them. For as much as, after they were created, they defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him who prepared life for them. And therefore my judgment is now at hand. These things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee and a few like thee. Then answered I and said, Behold, O Lord, thou hast showed me now many tokens which thou shalt do in the latter times, but thou hast not told me at what time. Chapter 8. Signs of the Last Times. And the angel answered me and said, Judge thou for thyself. If thou seest that some of the tokens whereof I told thee are past, then know thou that it is the time wherein the Most High will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes in the world, and uproars of the nations, and troubling of the peoples, and fighting of kings, and trembling of princes, Then understand thou well that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning in word and a manifestation in the end, even so the world of the Most High hath its beginning in speech, with signs and wonders of power, and its end in deeds and marvels. And every one that shall be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works, and by the faith wherein he hath believed, he alone shall be preserved from the perils whereof I have spoken, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, which I have sanctified for myself from this world. Then shall they be in pitiful case, who have now abused my ways, and they that have cast them away and despised my fear shall dwell in torments. For as many as in their life have received benefits, and yet have not known me, and all they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised me, the same must know it after death by torment. Therefore be thou no longer curious how the ungodly shall be punished, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose is the world, and for whom the world is created. The fewness of the saved. Then answered I and said, I have said before, and now speak, and will say it also hereafter, that there are many more of them that perish than of them that shall be saved, even as the rain is more abundant than the drops of dew. And he answered me and said, Like as the field is, so is also the seed, and as the flowers are, so are the colors, and as the work is, so is the judgment, and as the husbandman is, so is his threshing floor. For there was a time when I was preparing for them that now live, before the world was made wherein they should dwell. And then no man gainsaid me, for there was none. But now they that are created in this world, which is made with an unfailing table and an unsearchable law, have corrupted their deeds with death. So I considered my world, and behold, it was lost, and my earth, and behold, it was in peril, because of the works that were come into it. And I saw, and spared them for a very little, and have kept me a grape out of a cluster, and a plant out of a great forest. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, which with great labor I have made perfect. Nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, but thou shalt not fasten them, but thou shalt go into a field of flowers where no house is built, and eat only of the fruit of the trees, and taste no flesh, and drink no wine, but eat only the fruit of the trees, and pray unto the Most High continually, then will I come and talk with thee. The fourth vision, the abiding law. So I went my way into the field which is called Arphad, like as he commanded me. And there I sat among the grass, and did eat of the fruit of the field, and the meat thereof satisfied me. And after 7 days, as I lay upon the grass, my heart was troubled within me again as before. And I opened my mouth, and began to speak before the Most High, and said, O Lord, Thou revealedst Thyself unto our fathers in the wilderness, where no tree or grass grew, when they went out of Egypt, and Thou spakest, saying, Hear me, O Israel, and mark my words, O seed of Jacob. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring forth fruit in you, and ye shall be honored in it forever. But our fathers, though they received the law, kept it not, and observed not thy ordinances. Yet the fruit of the law perished not, neither could it, because it was thine. But they that received it perished, because they kept not the thing that was sown in them. For it is a constant custom that when the earth hath received seed, or the sea a ship, or any vessel meat or drink, and when it cometh to pass that what was sown, or what was launched, or what was contained in the vessel is destroyed, these things perish, but the containers remain. But with us it is not so. For we who have received the law and sinned must perish, and our heart also which received it. Howbeit the law perisheth not, but remaineth in its glory. The vision of the weeping woman. And when I looked about me with mine eyes, behold, I saw on the right side a woman who was weeping and crying with a loud voice, and was deeply grieved in mind. Her clothes were rent, and she had ashes upon her head. Then I let go the thoughts wherewith I was troubled, and turned myself unto her, and said, Wherefore weepest thou? And why art thou so grieved in thy mind? And she said unto me, Sir, let me alone, that I may bewail myself and add unto my sorrow, for I am sore vexed in my mind, and brought very low. And I said unto her, What aileth thee? Tell me. She said unto me, I thy servant was barren, and had no child, though I had a husband 30 years. And those 30 years, every hour and every day, night and day, I made my prayer to the Most High. And it came to pass after 30 years that God heard the prayer of thine handmaid, and looked upon my misery, and considered my trouble, and gave me a son. And I was very glad of him, and my husband also, and all my neighbors, and we gave great honor unto the Almighty. And I nourished him with great travail. So when he grew up, and came to the time that he should take a wife, I made a feast and prepared a marriage. Chapter 9. The Woman's Grief and Ezra's Rebuke. And it came to pass, when he entered into his nuptial chamber, he fell down and died. Then we overturned our lamps and extinguished our lights, and we sat down to mourn. And all my neighbors rose up to comfort me and to quiet me, and I remained silent until the night of the next day. And it came to pass, when they had all left off comforting me and were silent, I rose up by night and fled, and came into this wilderness. And now I purpose to abide here forever, and never more to return to the city, but always to fast and mourn until I die, eating no bread and drinking no water. Then I left the thoughts wherein I was occupied, and answered her in anger, and said, Of all women thou art the most foolish. Seest thou not our mourning, and what have happened unto us? For Zion, the mother of us all, is full of sorrow, and brought low in great affliction. It is right for thee now to mourn and lament, because we are all in sorrow, and we grieve for the multitude. Yet thou art grieved but for one son. Ask the earth, and she shall tell thee. It is right for her to mourn, because so many have been born upon her. For from the beginning all have been born upon her, and behold, others come, and almost all go into destruction. Who then should make more lamentation? She that hath lost so great a multitude, or thou who art in sorrow but for one? If thou sayest, My lamentation is not like the earth's, for I have lost the fruit of my womb, which I brought forth with travail and bare with sorrows. Yet as for the earth, according to the course of things, the multitude that goeth out of her returneth into her again. But I say unto thee, like as thou hast brought forth with labor, even so the earth also from the beginning hath given her fruit unto man for him that made her. Now therefore keep thy sorrow to thyself, and bear manfully the strokes that have come upon thee. For if thou shalt acknowledge the decree of God to be just, thou shalt receive thy son again in due time, and shalt be praised among women. Go thy way then into the city to thy husband. But she said unto me, That will I not do. I will not go into the city, but here will I die. So I spake again unto her and said, Do not do this thing, but be persuaded by me. For how many are the adversities of Zion? Be comforted because of the sorrow of Jerusalem. For thou seest that our sanctuary is laid waste, our altar broken down, and our temple destroyed. Our harp is brought low, our song is silenced, our rejoicing is at an end. The light of our candlestick is put out, the ark of our covenant is spoiled. Our holy things are defiled, and the name that is called upon us is profaned. Our nobles are dishonored, our priests are burnt, our Levites are led into captivity, our virgins are defiled, and our wives ravished. Our righteous men are carried away, our youths are brought into bondage, our little ones are destroyed, and our mighty men are become weak. And, what is more than all, the seal of Zion hath now lost her honor, for she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. Therefore shake off thy great heaviness, and put away the multitude of sorrows, that the mighty may be merciful unto thee again, and the Most High may give thee rest from thy labors. The transformation of the woman. And it came to pass, while I was speaking these words unto her, behold, her face upon a sudden shined exceedingly, and her countenance glistered like lightning, so that I was sore afraid of her, and my heart failed me. And I wondered what this thing should be. And behold, suddenly she made a great cry, and very fearful, so that the earth shook at the noise of the woman. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more. But there was a city builded, and a place of large foundations was showed. Then was I afraid, and cried with a loud voice, and said, Where is the angel Uriel, who came unto me at the first? For he hath caused me to fall into many seekings of mind, and my end is turned into corruption, and my prayer into a rebuke. The angel explains the vision. And as I was speaking these words, behold, the angel who had come unto me at the first came unto me, and he saw me lying as one dead, and my understanding was gone from me. And he took me by the right hand, and comforted me, and set me up upon my feet, and said unto me, What aileth thee? And why art thou so disquieted? And wherefore is thy understanding and the thoughts of thy heart lost? And I said, Because thou hast forsaken me, and yet I did according to thy words, and went into the field, and there have I seen things which I am not able to express. And he said unto me, Stand up like a man, and I will advise thee. Then said I, Speak on, my Lord, only forsake me not, lest I die before my time. For I have seen that which I knew not, and heard that which I do not understand. Or is my mind deceived, and my soul in a dream? Now therefore, I beseech thee, show thy servant the interpretation of this vision. He answered me then, and said, Hear me, and I shall inform thee, and tell thee wherefore thou art afraid. For the Most High hath revealed many secret things unto thee. He hath seen thy righteous dealing, and that thou hast been sorrowful continually for thy people, and makest great lamentation for Zion. This, therefore, is the meaning of the vision. The woman whom thou sawest a little while ago weeping, and whom thou beganest to comfort, is not a woman, but a city builded, which thou seest now as an established city. And whereas she told thee of the death of her son, this is the interpretation. This woman whom thou sawest is Zion, which thou now seest as a builded city. And whereas she said unto thee that she hath been barren 30 years, it is because there were 3,000 years in the world wherein no offering was offered in her. But after 3,000 years Solomon builded the city and offered offerings. Then it was that the barren bare a son. And whereas she told thee that she nourished him with great travail, that was the dwelling of Jerusalem. And whereas she said unto thee, My son coming into his marriage chamber fell down and died, and that this was the destruction that came upon her, this was the fall of Jerusalem that came to pass. And behold, thou sawest her likeness, how she mourned for her children, and thou beganest to comfort her for her miseries. Now the Most High seeth that thou art grieved in thy soul, and art afflicted with thy whole heart for her. And therefore he hath showed thee the brightness of her glory, and the comeliness of her beauty. Therefore I commanded thee to abide in the field where no house was builded. For I knew that the Most High would show these things unto thee. Therefore I commanded thee to come into the field where no foundation of any building was. For in the place where the Most High beginneth to show his city, there no man's building could stand. Therefore fear thou not, and let not thy heart be terrified, but go thy way in, and see the brightness and greatness of the building, as much as thine eyes are able to see. And then shalt thou hear as much as thine ears are able to hear. For thou art blessed above many others, and art called before the Most High as but few. But tomorrow at night thou shalt remain here, and the Most High shall show thee visions of those things which the Almighty will do unto them that dwell upon earth in the last days. So I slept that night and the next, like as he commanded me. Chapter 10. The fifth vision, the eagle from the sea. And it came to pass after this, on the night of the next day I saw a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 wings and 3 heads. And I saw, and behold, she flew with her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of heaven blew upon her, and the clouds were gathered together unto her. And out of her wings there grew other wings, and they became little wings and small. But her heads were at rest. The head in the midst was greater than the other heads, yet it rested with them. And I governed, and behold, the eagle flew with her wings to reign over the earth and them that dwell therein. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man maligned her, no, not one creature upon earth. And I saw the eagle rise upon her talons, and she uttered her voice to her wings, saying, Watch not all at once, sleep every one in his place, and watch by course. But let the heads be preserved for the last, and the head in the midst is greater than the rest. The reign of the wings. And I saw, and behold, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body. And I numbered her secret wings, and behold, there were 8. And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose one wing, and it reigned over all the earth. And so it was, that when it had reigned, the end thereof came, and the place thereof appeared no more. So the next arose, and reigned a long time. And it came to pass, when it had reigned, its end came also, that it should appear no more like as the first. And behold, there came a voice unto it, and said, Hear thou that hast borne rule over the earth so long a time. This I say unto thee, before thou beginnest to appear no more. There shall none after thee attain unto thy time, no, nor unto the half thereof. Then arose the third, and had the rule as the first, and it also vanished away. And so it happened unto all the wings, that each one reigned by course, and then appeared no more. And I looked, and behold, in process of time the little wings also were set up on the left side, that they might also have the rule. And there were some of them that ruled, but vanished away immediately. And others of them were set up, but had not the rule. The 3 heads and the remaining wings. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 wings appeared no more, nor the 2 little wings. And there was no more left on the eagle's body, but the 3 heads that rested, and the 6 little wings. And I saw, and behold, from the 6 little wings 2 divided themselves, and remained under the head that was on the right side, but the 4 remained in their place. And I saw, and behold, these 4 little wings purposed in themselves to set up themselves and to have the rule. And when they thought upon it, behold, there was one set up, but immediately it appeared no more. And the second also vanished away more quickly than the first. And I saw, and behold, the 2 that remained thought also in themselves to reign. And while they so thought, behold, there awaked one of the 3 heads that were at rest, namely, it that was in the midst, for that was greater than the other 2 heads. And I saw that it took the other 2 heads with it. And behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the 2 little wings that thought to have the rule. And this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule over them that dwell therein with much oppression. And it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been before. And after this I looked, and behold, the head that was in the midst suddenly appeared no more, like as the wings. But there remained the 2 heads, which also in like sort reigned upon the earth, and over them that dwell therein. And I saw, and behold, the head on the right side devoured it that was on the left side. The lion from the wood. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, Look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest. And I beheld, and lo, as it were, a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I heard that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle, and said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the Most High shall say unto thee, Art thou not it that remainest of the 4 beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? And the 4th came, and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great trembling, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the Most High, and thy pride unto the mighty. The Most High also hath looked upon his times, and behold, they are ended, and his ages are fulfilled. And therefore, O thou eagle, appear no more, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked little wings, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful talons, nor all thy vain body. That all the earth may be refreshed, and being delivered from thy violence, may return and hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. Chapter 11. Ezra's Terror and Prayer. And it came to pass, when the Creator had spoken these words unto the eagle, behold, the head that remained disappeared, and the wings that went over unto it arose and set themselves up to reign, and their rule was full of tumult and uproar. And I looked, and behold, they also vanished, and the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear. Then awaked I out of the trance by reason of great seekings of mind, and from great fear. And I said unto my spirit, Behold, thou hast done this unto me, in that thou searchest out the ways of the Most High. Lo, yet am I weary in my mind, and very weak in my spirit, and there is no strength at all in me, because of the great fear wherewith I was affrighted this night. Therefore will I now beseech the Most High, that he will comfort me unto the end. And I said, O Lord, my Lord, if I have found favor in thy sight, and if I am blessed before thee more than many others, and if my prayer indeed be come up before thy face, comfort me then, and show thy servant the interpretation and plain meaning of this fearful vision, that my soul may be fully comforted. For thou hast judged me worthy to show me the end of time and the last ages of the world. The angel interprets the eagle vision. And he said unto me, This is the interpretation of the vision which thou sawest. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the fourth kingdom which appeared in a vision to thy brother Daniel. But it was not interpreted unto him as I now interpret it unto thee. Behold, the days come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared more than all the kingdoms that were before it. And 12 kings shall reign in it, one after another, whereof the second that shall begin to reign shall have more time than any of the 12. This is the interpretation of the 12 wings which thou sawest. And whereas thou heardest a voice that spake, which came not from her heads, but from the midst of her body, this is the interpretation. That after the time of that kingdom there shall arise great contentions, and it shall stand in peril of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not fall then, but shall be restored again to its beginning. And whereas thou sawest the 8 underwings sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation. That in her shall arise 8 kings, whose times shall be but small and their years swift, and 2 of them shall perish when the middle time approacheth. 4 shall be kept until the time when her end beginneth to approach, but 2 shall be kept unto the end. And whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation. In the last days thereof the Most High shall raise up 3 kings, and they shall renew many things therein, and they shall have the dominion over the earth, and over those that dwell therein, with much oppression, above all those that were before them. Therefore are they called the heads of the eagle. For these are they that shall accomplish her wickedness, and that shall finish her last end. And whereas thou sawest that the great head vanished away, it signifieth that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with torments. For the 2 that remain shall be slain with the sword. For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he also fall by the sword. And whereas thou sawest 2 underwings going unto the head that was on the right side, this is the interpretation. These are they whom the Most High hath kept unto her end. This is the small reign and full of trouble, as thou sawest. The interpretation of the lion. And the lion, whom thou sawest rising up out of the wood, and roaring, and speaking unto the eagle, and rebuking her for her unrighteousness with all the words that thou hast heard. This is the anointed, whom the Most High hath kept for the end of days, who shall arise out of the seed of David, and he shall come and speak unto them. He shall reprove them for their wickedness and their unrighteousness, and shall heap up before them their contemptuous dealings. For he shall set them before him alive in judgment, and shall rebuke them, and after that he shall destroy them. But he shall deliver the remnant of my people with mercy, even those that have been preserved within my borders, and he shall make them joyful until the coming of the day of judgment, whereof I have spoken unto thee from the beginning. This is the dream that thou sawest, and these are the interpretations thereof. Thou only hast been worthy to know this secret of the Most High. Therefore, Write all these things that thou hast seen in a book, and hide them in a secret place. And thou shalt teach them unto the wise of thy people, whose hearts thou knowest are able to comprehend and keep these secrets. But do thou remain here yet 7 days more, that there may be showed thee whatsoever it pleaseth the Most High to reveal unto thee. The people come to Ezra. And it came to pass, when he had went his way from me, and the 7 days were past, and all the people heard that I had not returned into the city, they gathered themselves all together, from the least unto the greatest, and came unto me, and said, What have we offended thee? And what evil have we done against thee, that thou hast utterly forsaken us, and sittest in this place? For of all the prophets thou only art left us, as a cluster of the vintage, and as a candle in a dark place, and as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. Are not the evils which have befallen us sufficient? If thou shalt forsake us, how much better had it been for us if we also had been burnt in the burning of Zion? For we are not better than they that died there. And they wept with a loud voice. Then answered I them, and said, Be of good comfort, O Jacob, and be not heavy, O house of Israel. For your remembrance is before the Most High, and the Mighty hath not forgotten you in temptation. As for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you, but am come into this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, and that I might seek mercy for the low estate of our sanctuary. And now go your way home every man, and after these days will I come unto you. So the people went their way into the city, like as I commanded them. But I remained in the field 7 days, as the angel commanded me, and did eat only of the flowers of the field, and had my sustenance of the herbs in those days. Chapter 12. The sixth vision. The man from the sea. And it came to pass after these 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that wind caused a man to come up from the midst of the sea. And that man flew with the clouds of heaven. And wheresoever he turned his face to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And wheresoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they melted that heard his voice, like as the wax melteth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the 4 winds of the heaven to fight against the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together against him to fight were sore afraid, yet they durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast sparks of fire as a tempest, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest. And they fell violently upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust of ashes and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid and awaked. Afterward I saw the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked, and besought the Most High, and said, From the beginning thou hast showed thy servant these wonders, and hast judged me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left. For they that were not left shall be in heaviness, because they understand not the things that are laid up for the latter days, which shall happen unto them. But woe unto them also that are left, for this cause, that they shall see great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet is it easier for a man to come into these things with peril, and to pass out of the world like a cloud, than to pass away as a shadow, and not to see the things that shall happen in the last days. The angel explains the man from the sea. And he answered unto me and said, The interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the thing whereof thou hast spoken. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself, and they that have faith and good works toward the Most High and the Mighty shall be preserved. Know this, therefore, that they which be left are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the interpretation of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea, the same is he whom the Most High hath kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came as a blast of wind, and fire, and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of his ghost destroyed the multitude that came to fight against him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before, then shall that man be revealed, whom thou sawest rising up from the sea. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion. And Zion shall come, and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this is the Son, who shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. And he shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like unto fire. The return of the lost tribes. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 9 tribes and a half, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osei the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years, and the same region is called Uzaph. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come, the Most High shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But those that be left of thy people are they that are found within my holy borders. Now when he destroyeth the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. And then shall he show them great wonders. Ezra's final instructions. Then said I, O Lord, my Lord, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea? And he said unto me, Like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon earth see my Son, or those that be with him, but in the time of his day. This is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art lightened here. For thou hast forsaken thine own ways, and applied thy diligence unto my law, and sought it. Thy life hast thou ordered in knowledge, and hast called wisdom thy mother. And therefore have I showed thee these things, for there is a reward laid up with the Most High. After 3 days I will speak other things unto thee, and declare unto thee mighty and wondrous things. Then went I forth into the field, giving praise and thanks greatly unto God because of his wonders, which he did from time to time, and because he governeth the times, and such things as fall in their seasons. And there I sat 3 days. Chapter 13. The Seventh Vision. And it came to pass on the 3rd day, as I sat under an oak, behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Ezra, Ezra. And I said, Here am I, Lord. And I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, In the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him, when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him, and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up to Mount Sinai, where I held him by me a long season, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times, and the end of the world, and commanded him, saying, These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. And now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thy heart the signs that I have showed, and the dreams that thou hast seen, and the interpretations which thou hast heard. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my Son, and with such as be like thee, until the times be ended. For the world hath lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 10 parts, and is come even unto the 10th part, and 1/2 of the 10th part remaineth. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in heaviness, and instruct those that be wise among them. And now renounce the life that is corruptible. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature, and lay aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to pass from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. For the truth is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasteth the eagle to come, which thou sawest in the vision. Ezra's concern for future generations. Then answered I before thee, and said, Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present. But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? For the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. For thy law is burnt, therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the works that shall begin. But if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Ghost into me, and I shall write all that hath been done in the world since the beginning, which were written in thy law, that men may find the path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live. And he answered me, saying, Go thy way, gather the people together, and say unto them, that they seek thee not for 40 days. But look thou prepare thee many box tables, and take with thee Saria, Dabria, Selemia, Echinus, and Asiel, these 5 which are ready to write swiftly. And come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in thine heart, which shall not be put out, till the things be performed which thou shalt begin to write. And when thou hast done, some things shalt thou publish, and some things shalt thou deliver in secret to the wise. Tomorrow at this hour shalt thou begin to write. Ezra addresses the people. Then went I forth, as he commanded me, and gathered all the people together, and said, Hear these words, O Israel. Our fathers at the beginning were strangers in Egypt, from whence they were delivered, and received the law of life, which they kept not, which ye also have transgressed after them. Then was the land, even the land of Zion, parted among you by lot. But your fathers and ye yourselves have done unrighteousness, and have not kept the ways which the Highest commanded you. And forasmuch as he is a righteous judge, he took from you in time the thing that he had given you. And now are ye here, and your brethren are among you. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding, and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. Let no man therefore come unto me now, nor seek after me these 40 days. The inspiration and writing of the books. So I took the 5 men as he commanded me, and we went into the field, and there we remained. And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Ezra, open thy mouth, and drink that I give thee to drink. Then opened I my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water, but the color of it was like fire. And I took it and drank. And when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast, for my spirit strengthened my memory, and my mouth was opened and shut no more. The Highest gave understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions of the night which were told them, which they knew not. And they sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. As for me, I spake in the day, and I held not my tongue by night. In 40 days they wrote 24 books. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were fulfilled, that the Highest spake, saying, The first that thou hast written publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And I did so, in the 4th year, in the 5th week of years, after 5,000 years of the creation of the world, on the 10th day of the 3rd month, in 91 days. At that time Ezra was caught away, and received into the place of such as were like him, after he had written all these things. And he was called the scribe of the knowledge of the Most High forever and ever. Here ends the book of Ezra. Praise be to God. Amen forever and ever.